chime the bowl, and we will sing Om together to tone into the universal vibration. So it is. Good morning, Unity. Happy Sunday, everyone. As we gather today in this sacred sanctuary, let us also remember and honor the sanctuary and the sanctity of this sacred land, our earth home, and all who have walked here with gratitude and respect. Unity on the River is located on Nadakina, the traditional ancestral homelands of the Abenaki, Pawtucket, Pennacook, and Wabanaki peoples of the Dawnland, past and present. We acknowledge and honor with gratitude this land, the waterways, and Al-Nobak, the people who have stewarded Nadakina throughout the generations and who have ongoing cultural and spiritual connections here. We make this acknowledgement aware of continual violations of lands, waters, and sacred sites in Nadakina and other indigenous homelands. We also recognize that this statement is insufficient to rectify the historical and ongoing impacts of colonization, dispossession, environmental destruction, pollution, and climate change. As we commemorate and celebrate Earth Day this next weekend, let us remember that every day is Earth Day, and we all bear responsibility and a great opportunity to care for our sacred Mother Earth as stewards and settlers here in Nadakina, and to leave this land a little better for future generations. Last week, Shipley invited us all to let our light shine and shared these powerful and hopeful words of Margaret Mead, which are worthy of repeating to remind us that we can all make a difference. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has.
Slowly does the river move. Feel the old ones drawing near. Spirit speaks to us of grace. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. For all the people of this land, and for 7 generations to come, this is all my relations joining hands. This is all and beat the drum. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. Please join us. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. All the people of this land, and for 7 generations to come. All our relations joining hands. We'll call and beat the drum. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place. This is a holy time. This is a sacred place.
Thank you, Lisa. Thank you. So we can finally see clearly now, can't we? Because we are risen. Right, Brenda?
Yes.
Perfect.
Yes.
It's a good word.
I can see clearly now the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Think I can make it now, the pain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. around, there's nothing but blue sky. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue sky.
Today? All righty. And welcome to Unity on the River. We are an inclusive spiritual community, and we honor all paths to God. I'd like to begin by welcoming anyone who's celebrating with us for the first time. If you are, please raise your hand. We'll give you a welcome package. And it looks like we're all old friends here. All right.
We have some friends visiting from Colorado. Do you want to raise your hand?
Next, let's welcome the live streamers. Hello. Just remember that you can watch all the services on YouTube and Facebook as they're happening, and you can look at past services on our YouTube channel. So Unity on the River is a center of celebration, transformation, inspiration, spirit-centeredness, oneness, and joy. Please hold these truths in your heart as we say our mission and vision statements for ourselves and the world. Our mission: we are a vibrant spiritual community that celebrates the presence in all and awakens humanity to its divinity. And our vision, centered in love, we joyously co-create a world of oneness, peace, and harmony. And the vision for our new minister, together, the spiritual leader of Unity on the River is a heart-centered, inspired teacher and mentor who lovingly embodies the highest and most joyful vision for Unity on the River and the whole world. We know that this vision is already established in divine mind. We pray that we, as a congregation, can embody the vision we have set forth. We must be the vision that we want to see. So now it is time for our namaste. So you can say namaste to everybody, and
Are you going to introduce Stephanie?
that is supposed to happen after the namastes.
Okay.
Okay, we're gonna okay. According to this. So please say, greet each other and light and love, and ask whether a hug or a handshake is appropriate.
So we'd like to welcome Miss Lisa Plumley back out to sing Way Over Yonder.
Way over yonder is a place I know where I can find shelter from a hunger and cold, and the sweet taste and good life is so easily found. And way over yonder, that's where I'm bound. Well, I know that when I get there, the first thing I'll see is the sun shining golden, shining right down on me. Then trouble's gonna lose me, worry leave me behind, and I'll stand up proudly in true peace of mind. I'm gonna talk about it every day, yeah. your dream. And maybe tomorrow I'll find my way to the land where the honey runs in the rivers each day, and the sweet taste and gold of life is so easily found way over yonder. That's where I'm bound, way over yonder. That's where I'm bound. I'm gonna go there, yes I will, now. Yeah. Love you guys.
All right, so now it's time to introduce Stephanie Roy. And it's my honor to do so. She has spent 25 years as a congregant, teacher, volunteer, and occasional stand-up comic. I don't know why it's occasional, you're really funny. She has a rich and long interest in all things spiritual, and she'll be speaking now. So let's welcome Stephanie.
My timer on, it's got to recognize me. Okay. So as long as they're putting erasers on pencils, it's apparently still okay to make mistakes. So,
Just let her talk.
okay, because I wanted to start with apologizing to the streamers. I guess I forgot to put my. Okay, so I can't hear you. Hang on, we're working on it. Erasers on pencils. So I'll tell you about this license plate I saw coming up here. I come down from Maine.
I'm a trained professional.
Testing, 1, 2, 3. Testing,
Switch
one,
mics.
two.
That's all right. We'll switch to this, okay?
Okay. So I'm so relieved that the mistake wasn't mine. But I do wonder sometimes what a different kind of story we might have had if in the Garden of Eden, when Adam and Eve, after they ate the fruit, they heard the sound of the Lord walking in the garden, and they had run over to him and said, "Oh my God, you know that thing you told us not to do?" He totally did it. So, we are risen indeed. We are risen indeed. The question now is, how do we stay resurrected? How do we stay attuned and connected to that conscious Christ consciousness that's inside us? So I've got 3 words. It's exactly the same way you get to Carnegie Hall. Practice, practice, practice. That's what we can do because we're both being, we are the consciousness of Christ, and we are becoming more and more Christ-like. So those 2 things are always happening all the time. So I thought I would break it down to what do we practice with our minds? What do we practice with our hearts? What do we practice with our bodies? But I wasn't going to lead with this one, but I am now, because one of the first things that we practice with, this is in Colossians, I think. Let me just see, find the right, my glasses will help. Oh, that's not where I thought it was. Essentially, one of the things that we practice, and we do this every Sunday, is we practice coming together. We practice reminding each other of who we are. We practice loving each other, flaws and all, faults and all. The verse I was looking for is, oh, here it is. It's Colossians 3:13. Make allowances for each other's faults. Forgive those who offend you. So there's no way to come together as a community and not bump up against each other, because we are perfectly imperfect, yes? Because we are all flawed, because we're all wounded. And anything that's kind of unhealed, it doesn't matter where it comes in our history, if it's unhealed and somebody bumps into it, you're going to have a reaction. So if you haven't done a lot of your healing work, you're probably somebody who's easily offended. That's just the way it goes. That when we've done our work and that wound is healed and there's a scar, you can bump into a scar and it doesn't hurt. So one of the ways we practice is just being with each other, and we practice loving each other, forgiving each other, having mercy with each other, having compassion with each other, having understanding with each other, forbearing each other.
It's too hard.
We practice talking not too loud. And there's actually no way to do that. They often, oh, that is loud. It's hot. Is that because that's the term? Oh, I'll turn, oh, is that better? Okay, oh, so I left that on. So my headset is working?
No, I'm trying to switch again.
That's off.
There. Oh, you just turned it up.
Then the switch is backwards. No, all right, so.
I fixed it while you were talking, so it's, there you go.
So that's, oh, here we go. Now, here's one of the ways that being with somebody, being with another member, right before the service, Cherie comes up to me and she says, oh, I'm so glad you're speaking. She said, how do you feel? And I said, well, you know, I feel the way I feel before I talk. I'm going to feel a lot better on the other side. She said, it's already done. You did a great job. And so I thought to myself, that's right. Why wait? Why wait? It's like it's already done. So we'll get to, actually, one of the things that I want to use in terms of practicing with our minds, one of the powers that we have is this power of imagination. So right now, I want us to practice that. Peter, a few weeks ago, taught us this 3-step practice from Catherine Ponder, that you write down what your vision is, you imagine what your vision is as though it has already been accomplished, and then you declare it's done. So I'm going to invite us right now to take a few moments, to close your eyes. Now, you don't have to do any writing part. You can just imagine that you've written it. But I want you to imagine our next spiritual leader. Just imagine those characteristics that he or she will have. That heart for God, that walking the talk, that care for the community. Just imagine that. And then feel it like we already have that person. And now say aloud, it is done. It's accomplished. Okay? Now, keep your eyes closed. We're not done. Imagine again that you've written it down, but I want you to imagine the place for Unity on the River. The next home for Unity on the River. What does it have? What does it have for space, for the land, for parking? Just imagine it. Our home. And now say aloud, it is done. It is already done in Christ's mind. At some point down the road, we'll have a spiritual leader, we'll have a spiritual home. This is our home today. We're being here, but we're becoming. We're becoming more. Okay? I want to talk about practicing meditation. There's a couple of ways to practice meditation. One is, and meditation, by the way, is not thinking. It's not, sometimes it is thinking. Sometimes you want to meditate, you want to ruminate, actually one of the core words for meditation is mastication, which is chewing. You want to chew something over, right? So sometimes it's going to be thinking, sometimes, but it's never not thinking. For me, coming into the Christ consciousness is noticing what you're thinking, noticing if you're thinking. So that's one of the ways that we practice. We practice being in that still place, noticing what our minds are doing. We can focus what we pay attention to, what we put our minds on for what we read, what we watch. That's a practice. The first psalm in the book of Psalms goes like this. And when I was in Bible college, they had us memorize a ton of scripture, so I'm just glad that that's all kind of in me as a reservoir to draw on. But it starts off like this. Blessed is the man that walketh not in the counsel of the ungodly, nor stands in the way of sinners, nor sits in the seat of the scornful. But his delight is in the law of the Lord, and in his law does he meditate day and night. In his law does he meditate day and night. So it's a way of remembering. And by the way, I love a lot of the commentators in the news, but I'm very aware that if there's a scornful or ridiculing tone, they're not the ones I want to be listening to. I want to know what's going on in the world, but I don't want it to come from a place of scorn. Because as soon as, and I'm going to scorn and ridicule all the time, but I'm now getting more, I'm practicing, noticing when I'm scornful, because if I'm scornful, I make myself separate from you. And if I make myself separate from you, I give myself permission to judge you, and I absolutely am not loving you. I'm not being awake to that you are a part of me, and that I'm a part of you. So, how do we practice in our hearts? I know for me, one of the things that most opens up my heart, two things that open up my heart, and we do it all the time here, is music and poetry. So now I do want to read some of the scriptures, because these are all kind of life hacks, if you will, about how to stay connected, how to stay tuned into this consciousness that we want to be part of. So this is from Ephesians. Wake up, O sleeper, and arise from the dead, and Christ consciousness will shine on you. Don't be drunk with wine. You can be a little drunk maybe, but don't be drunk with wine, but be filled with the Spirit, speaking to one another in psalms and hymns and spiritual song, singing and making melody in your hearts to the Lord. You know, our bodies, our minds, our hearts are all interconnected. If you turn in and tune in to any one of them, they'll affect the other two. But that's one of the reasons that music is, Shipley's always known from the get-go that music has been a huge part of this ministry and this congregation. Why? Because it opens our hearts. It makes us connected on every level. Again, and this is in Colossians, let the words of Christ dwell in you richly, singing songs and hymns and spiritual songs with thankfulness in your heart. The poetry. I mean, Rumi, Hafiz, Paula Esty, Mary Oliver, David White, Emerson, Blake. I mean, those are times when the words just touch something deep in your heart. Oh, I should have. There's a Hafiz. I don't know if I'll gather it up. I'll do it. But it says a poet gathers up words in a chalice and pours them into your holy parched mouth. So when you're feeling dry or cranky, turn on the music. There's a quote from Howard Thurman that I love. Because when you're in your heart, when I'm mostly in my heart, I'm feeling lots of things, but I very much feel alive. And Howard Thurman says, don't ask what the world needs. Ask what makes you come alive and go do that. Because what the world needs are people who have come alive. So this is how we practice being alive. We practice that life energy with music, with poetry. And finally, I want to talk about being alive, or practicing this place in our bodies. Now, one of the things that you can do, I've just started doing this recently because Shipley kind of pointed me to this Qigong on YouTube. It's a way of, it's the most amazing body prayer, that's what I would call it, of moving in this way where you have to be mindful, you have to go slow, but your body is moving. Because, and I've got a poem here that I'm going to read from Mary Oliver in a minute, but I was thinking about how our bodies are always, no matter what's going on, every single part of my body is always trying to get me healthy, to get me better. It's got my back. And I thought, oh my God, my body is like a big black lab or a big chocolate lab. It's like, oh, what can I do to help? What can I do? That our bodies are like that. Our bodies are always in the now. Our bodies are never in yesterday. They're never in tomorrow. Our bodies are always right here. So I'll do this one piece. Oh, I didn't bring it. I thought I brought it. Never mind. I'm not going to do the Mary Oliver. But I actually know this one part. It's from Wild Geese. She said, you don't have to be good. You don't have to walk on your knees 100 miles in the desert repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Now, the other piece that I want to talk about, the body, I wasn't sure if I was going to talk about this, but I think I am. Our body holds our wounds. I noodle on this a lot, why the Christ story, the culmination of the Christ story was the crucifixion and the resurrection. And I wonder, why was that? I mean, he talks about it, here's my body broken for you. So I want to say that those of us who speak, and there's a process of getting ready. And one of the things I have shared that is, I'm not alone in this, but whenever I get ready to speak, to get ready to be up in front of people and really be seen, I run into this thing that I would call a shame-fear ball. It's like this, it's hard to describe, it's like this black, ucky, I can't think. I mean, I put the time in, I've got my books out, I kind of know where I want to go, but I go to put it together, and I just run into this. And it's been, I mean, the first time it happened was years ago. Shipley got sick on Saturday night, and I got a call like at 5 o'clock to say, it was Pentecost Sunday the next day, and she said, could you, and Paula asked, actually, you were too sick to call. Paula called and said, can you do the talk? And I said, sure. Oh my God. And I was up all night. So it's been, I've run into it periodically whenever I've gotten ready for a talk. Not when I'm doing in counseling, not when I'm doing a workshop. For some reason, that doesn't come up, but when I have to stand up like this. So I've been working on this because now I've been in this lovely speaker rotation. I just love it. And it's getting better and better. But I want to tell you, this week, it was like it came on in spades. I mean, in spades. I was on my knees saying, what is this? I was praying. I was practicing all of these things. And then I had a memory. This memory came up. I don't go into the details, but it happened in 5th grade. And I was the public point for scorn and ridicule. At the time, I felt nothing because I I've actually spent, up until I started to get sober in 36, most of my life feeling nothing. I just somehow made a choice that that was the best way to go. But it occurred to me, this is what I would have felt had I had any space or ability or support to feel what it feels like to be shamed and humiliated publicly. And I want to tell you, it didn't go away, but I started having some mercy. Not only for me and that child, I was 10 or 11, but for my classmates and for the teacher, all of whom were laughing. And at one point I said to Jesus, did you ever feel the shame and humiliation? And he said, look, I was half naked on a cross. What do you think? So one of the things our bodies do is they hold things for us until we can hold them. And they transform them from a wound with forgiveness, with mercy, with compassion, into something sacred. I mean, that Good Friday symbol is now something that was dear to us, you know? Sunday morning, Jesus is going around saying, look, put your fingers in. Here are the holes. It's finished. The job was finished. So I have no idea what it is or why, but there was something about offering a body, being here, offering our bodies. It's not easy being here on planet Earth, is it? No. So how do we stay connected to this? I want to invite us to stay connected to all of it. All of it. The light and the dark. The brilliance and the heartbreak. Because at the end of the day, how I worked with this is I was present with it. I breathed. When I breathe, I feel like I'm at that intersection between the finite and the infinite, between the divine and the human. I mean, we were, according to the Christian story, kind of packed in, made little clay figurines, and then said the Lord breathed into Adam's nostril and gave him life. So when I can stay present and breathe, I can start to metabolize and assimilate and transmute those wounds. I was able to get to the place where I said about my classmates and my teacher, forgive them, they didn't know what they were doing. Like really, they didn't know what they were doing. And that doesn't mean that I don't do my work and feel it. So I want to close with this, because it's so important. You know, I was raised 18 years as a Catholic, then tripping on mescaline. I met God and became a born-again Baptist. 18 years then, right? But all of that was, we were practicing. I was practicing Catholic, and then I was practicing Baptist, but I was practicing to be good. I was trying to be good. And from my history, I realized I was trying to be accepted. I wanted to belong. I didn't want to be rejected. I was trying to be good. So I want to keep inviting us to practice, 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 which is, Pema Chodron says, fail, fail again, fail better. And this service so far has been a perfect example of that, right? So it's okay to make mistakes. Practice, 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 but we're not practicing to be good. We're practicing to be God. We're getting better and better and better at it. Don't you think? Okay. Namaste.
Thank you so much. That was wonderful. It's now time for the tithes and offerings. No? I'm sorry.
So please take a breath and just settle with us as Lisa brings us in with a beautiful chant.
In the silence I shall go. In the stillness stillness there's a knowing. In the presence of divine love, I am love. I am loved. Shemaya. 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 In the silence I shall go. In the stillness there's a knowing. In the presence of divine love, I am loved. I am loved. Shemaya. 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 Hear me, God. Shemaya.
Bringing your attention now to your breath. Noticing how it feels as it goes in, as it goes out. Feel yourself being supported in this sacred place, on this holy ground. Let yourself rest deeply in the arms of the beloved. Your name is known. You are a cherished darling of the universe. You are loved exactly where you are. You are loved exactly who you are. A beloved child. A beloved child. Feel the arms around you as we go into the silence. Let yourself bring to mind now anyone on your heart for whom you'd like prayer. And softly speak their names. And we're going to send all this energy to each and every one.
In the silence I shall go. In the stillness there's a knowing. In the presence of divine love, I am loved. I am loved. Shemaiah.
So now is the time in our service when we prepare our gifts, yes? We share from our infinite space of abundance. So we give thanks in advance for all the ways that you choose to invest in this community. Because investing in this community, you invest in your own prosperity. So this positive spiritual energy flows through our hearts, our minds, our hands, and prospers everything we do. So breathe with me now in this energy of abundance as we say together, divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive.
All day long, I mean, you're giving
Oh, Spirit of the living God, we just thank you as you show up in this community with this generous spirit, with this joyful giving. We just bless all these gifts and all this energy, and we send it out, flowing, blessing, magnifying, multiplying, wherever it goes, and then flowing right back to us, blessing us, magnifying, multiplying your spirit in this place. And so it is.
So it is. Hallelujah.
Can we give another round of applause to Miss Lisa Plumley for being with us and playing our harmonica.
And a round of applause for this amazing band and choir, and for all of you. For all of you wildflowers.
Yes, it is time now to give thanks for all the people that make this happen. I know from out there in the congregation it looks easy, but there's a lot of moving parts, a lot of things that we don't see, and this is our chance to say thank you to everybody. And of course, obvious, Meg Rayne and all the music here. We love you. Thank you so much. Mark Rosen and Brian over there. PowerPoint, sound, and streaming. And someone who does so much behind the scenes, Stan Roble. Yeah, right back there. I'd like to acknowledge my fellow board members. If anyone is from the board here, please stand. And we have prayer chaplains here today. Doesn't look like we do. Okay. Please join us next week for Denise DeSimone. Yeah, that'll be great. Also, I want to make sure everyone knows Swan Kirtan will be offering an evening of singing and chanting on Saturday, April 29th at 7 p.m. here at the synagogue. I've seen them before. They're wonderful. The suggested love offering is only $15. It's a great deal. And then on April 30th, after the service, we will conduct a brief memorial for loved ones who have recently passed. Peter Clark, Carl Kosperzak, and Catherine Erickson. Sorry if I mispronounced that.
And when was that again?
That was April 30th. On April 29th, Christine Malpica and Imagine Studios is presenting One World Earth Day benefit live music concert and dance at the People's Cafe, 64 Purchase Street in Newburyport between 1 and 5 p.m. So more details can be found on the events page of our website, unityontheriver.org.
April 22nd for that one.
Okay.
April birthday, next Saturday. Come on.
Okay. Amy Joslin is offering a Unity Basics class online starting on May 3rd. There are seats available for this still. This is one of the classes required for membership to be a voting member, and with a new minister and new home, there are some big votes coming up, so if you're not a member, please consider doing that. You can register at our website's homepage. I want to let you know that the Unity on the River Board has authorized gifts that we received during March, so that $934 each going to Lucy's Love Bus, which is a local charity, and the Unity Eastern Region. So we are prosperous, and we do share that with our community. We are looking for volunteers for PowerPoint and youth education. So please contact Lee. There he is, back there. Oh, with a prayer chaplain shawl. All right. Thank you. And finally, during hospitality, there will be, Tuba will have a table down there. That's the Unity Business Alliance, and that is a group of heart-centered practitioners and business people. So if you want to find out what we do, or if you want to perhaps join us, please come and visit us at our table. Thank you. So Peter and Lynette will be doing their slideshow from Southeast Asia. I've seen some other things on Facebook. It's amazing. And of course, we have refreshments downstairs, so join us.
And we
with
want to
that.
thank Jim and Louisa for providing that. Thank
Yes.
you so much for all that you do for us. So now you may want to get on your tap dancing shoes and get ready to move. Lisa's got a beautiful song, Wildflowers.
Yeah, I wrote a song for you guys.
Stand up and move for this. Feel it in our bodies.
Wildflower, kissed by the sun. Can you see how beautiful you become? Wildflower, you got such a lovely face, crown of glory singing, gonna take your place. You've got colors that I can feel. I can hear you singing sweetly now, yes I can. Sometimes so good that it don't seem real. Wildflower, oh, wildflower, oh, wildflower. Don't you know that I believe in you? On Hyde, like Mele. Wildflower, oh, wildflower, kissed by the sun. Can you see how beautiful that you've become? Wildflower, you got such a lovely, lovely face, got a crown of glory. Take your place and you've got colors that I can feel. I can hear you singing sweetly now, yes I can. Oh, sometimes so good that it don't seem real. Wildflower, wildflower. Keep going. It's good, it's so, so good. It's good, it's so, so good. It's good, it's so, so good. It's good, back into the chorus. You got colors that I can feel. I can see you singing sweetly now, yes I can. Oh, sometimes so good that it don't seem real. Wildflower, oh, wildflower, yeah. Ooh, wildflower, wildflower, I believe, yeah. Don't you know I believe in you, wildflower? So good, you're so, so good, and you're wild. Oh, you're so wild. You're wild, wildflower. Na, 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 wildflower. light of God enfolds us. We are the love of God. The power of God protects us. We are the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. We are the presence of God. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well, and we are richly blessed.
I required everyone to make at least one mistake today.